Hi, my name is Kelly Danielpour. I am a high school senior in Los Angeles, and I am the founder of VaxTeen, as well as a Unity Consortium teen advisor. And this is Teens and Vaccines. So who am I? How did I get here? 2 years ago, at the age of 16, I discovered a post on Reddit, which led me on a whole journey to VaxTeen. I was already interested in public health when I just came across a question from one of my peers who had anti-vaccine parents asking how could they get vaccinated. They were concerned for their own health as well as those around them. And they tried to convince their parents, but had no success. I was just in awe. Teens were saying what we all want to hear. I want to get vaccinated. But they really needed help and resources to do so. And I was inspired, amazed, and I decided I needed to do whatever I could to help. I myself have pro-vaccine parents, and I think I never realized, and I really took it for granted that was sort of that part of my health was something I was guaranteed and I didn't need to fight for. And so I wanted to do whatever I could to help my peers. So as I dug in, I realized quite how common this was actually in this phenomenon. And this is obviously pre-COVID as well, and this desire among young people to get vaccinated. And so I tried to help however I could, creating resources, the forms of guides for talking to parents, for figuring out what vaccines one needs to catch up on, and for deciphering minor consent laws for getting vaccinated in each state. And so I think this really shows a lesson to all of us, both in these Reddit posts and now what we're seeing. We see teens participating in COVID vaccine trials. We see them helping those in their community get appointments to get vaccinated. We're really seeing this involvement and we're seeing the impact of vaccines on their lives. And I think not only is this important in terms of sort of a COVID vaccination, but also in combating these falling rates of HPV vaccination as well. I think the COVID-19 pandemic has really served as a sort of startling public health lesson on not only on the importance of vaccines, clearly, but that we each have really a responsibility to prevent the transmission of a disease, whether through sort of social distancing or vaccination, to ensure our collective health. And as we push for increased immunization, teenagers can and should have a role to play. I know everyone around me, even when we were told that sort of COVID was not something we were at risk, the sort of larger risks of it weren't something we really needed to be worried about as young people, we all stayed home to protect those in our community who were at risk. Though obviously now we all know that young people really do feel the impacts of the pandemic, both in sort of sickness as well as the impact on everyone's lives. But I think there's something really important to consider, and this role and responsibility young people feel to be vaccinated. And then especially as we look at the HPV vaccine, which is a stigmatized form of healthcare, I think every young person also deserves the right to be healthy and to prevent sort of having cancer. And so studies show that really a majority of adolescents believe vaccines are important to protect both themselves and their communities. And they also consistently show that they are eager to be more involved in this decision-making process. So it really raises this very important point, the importance of our outreach efforts, reaching and involving teens. So vaccine advocacy really almost always focus on parents as the sole decision makers. So young people want a voice, not simply to protect their own personal well-being and health, but to help prevent preventable diseases for everyone. It's time we reorient our efforts to co-create with and give a voice to those already passionate about this issue and work to reach those in need of information and education as well. So after all, we are the next generation of parents. So as attendees of this meeting, you really are the people that teens will want answers from and teens will look to and that are in the best position to help. And so I think it really comes down to three main ideas: educate, support, and advocate. You are a resource for all of these teens and adolescents. You are the best place of support. Be someone who supports them, advocate for their rights in terms of laws, but also advocate for them in a medical, sort of clinical decision-making setting. Advocate for them to be part of this conversation. Empower your patients. And so I think this is something that we really need to recognize. So this is the next generation of parents, and these are also teens are in their own homes. We talk about vaccine hesitancy. They are the ones who know how to combat this best. They know sources of hesitancy best. And so I really think this is a time we need to empower teens to be involved in this decision, to have and give them a voice. And so thank you so much. You can find more information at VaxTeen.org, as well as on Unity Consortium's website, and you can find us at VaxTeen on really every social media platform. Thank you so much for listening.